Hi, YouTube. I hope you're doing good. I'm doing okay, not too bad. Yesterday was a little rough. I told you I had that turkey dinner from the night before, and I had made some cranberry sauce yesterday because we had canned stuff the night before. I was really looking forward to enjoying my sauce last night, and then I got so overheated. It had been kind of humid and clammy, and it did rain last night, so there was a lot of humidity in the atmosphere. But I just had some milk and went to bed, went to sleep because I didn't feel good. I was just so overheated. Just, I don't know. I don't think it's some kind of flu thing or whatever, but I had had a really odd feeling for a couple days, like a foreboding feeling, and we found out this morning, not knowing if it's any connection or not, but I consider him, he was more of a friend to us than uh what do you call it? Oh, just a minute. Just a sec. Customer. I don't know why. Yeah, because I couldn't think of the word customer because he never seemed like it, although we had worked on a lot of his vehicles. Um, he had built one that for his daughter that was yellow, that yellow Mustang that Doug had done the body work on. Um, so Chuck could, who also does body work, but not like maybe the metal fabrication and that like heavy duty stuff that Doug does. So they worked really well together, and we right now have an old Dodge panel in our shop that belonged to him, and his son called and told us that his dad had passed away on Saturday. They're getting ready for his granddaughter's wedding, and he sat down at the table and just expired right there. I'm concerned for his wife because she's been up here before. They live in the cities. Um, but she hasn't been able to think for about probably 10 years. They're a little older than we are, where he was, and now his wife that um he was always afraid to leave her alone, that type of thing. So but he was so cool. He never, like when Doug went through broken ankle and different things or a bad back when he fell off the ladder, Chuck would call and just say, tell him to feel better or not pushing, like, when's my vehicle gonna be done? Never bitching about what it would cost because it's not cheap. And because building a hot rod or any kind of car, if you're building a classic car or restoring something, um it's not a poor man's thing. You don't go into it thinking that you're going to build something and it's not going to be very expensive. So but he never complained about anything. He would just put money in the mail for Doug, cash, zip it up in a letter and send it off, and it'd be here. We'd call him, it got here, and continue the work, that type of customer. Just so awesome. Totally awesome. Never snooty. Never, there's a lot of people that I stopped answering the phone. They'd call and, is Doug there? This and that. And it'd be like, what? Do you think I'm his secretary or like what? I'm so much his other half that you have to soak your bullshit into me. This guy never did any of that shit. So super, super awesome. He'll be missed for sure. So in his 70s. But I didn't expect it. I didn't realize that he had any. I mean, I know they had health concerns, but I don't know why I didn't expect it. So it, I don't know. Anyway, so that's sort of what's going on in my life today. Remember, I've told you stories about it's coded in the scriptures where there's actually four people, um, two good, two bad, two female, two males, and the names have been changed. So if I said like Jesus took all these people on some kind of excursion and he couldn't get his way with them sexually and he killed them, um, I'm not talking about who you would think of as Christ. I shared Lady Babylon's teaching out of the Greek, out of the book of Jude for people. It's a satanic congregation, but this is the only place you're going to find that information. If you want to know the truth, the real truth, and how the names have been changed and what's been twisted, these aren't the people that twisted it. The people that twisted it would consider themselves ascetic Jews or Khazarian Jews. This is, and it has, I'm not defending them. I don't believe like they do, you know, period. But, you know, it's just like I'm or a poor example, but there's nothing, no other example concerning the human psyche or religion that I could use. So it'd be like um me watching a cooking show, although I'm a cook, so I already have my own beliefs, but somebody else has another way of looking at how to make this dish. Um, so I can't fault everybody if they are truly well meaning, no matter what. Now, if they're into blood sacrifices and things that I personally know are heinous, that type of thing, they'll get no sympathy from me at all. Not ever. So that type of thing, or harming people or lying to people, and if you're willing, no matter who you are, even if you're satanic, if you're willing to tell me you're satanic and you would bet your soul that you're not a liar, I'm good with you. You're good to go wherever you want to go. You know, that's your decision in life. So just listen to the information. If you don't want to believe what is said there, that's up to you too. But you're not going to get two sides of the same coin by listening to the same coin all the time. You know, it's like preachers who preach to the church. You're not gathering anybody that is not gatherable. You're not going in the deepest, darkest places with the Christ Spirit for other people. Are you engaging with anybody with necromancer tendencies um, to try and show them another aspect of something? Are you taking the light of Christ into dark places, or are you just sticking it where you think assume it belongs? I'm just wondering, because I've always dealt with the darker aspects of people and those type of people that I'm trying to reach like that. So if you would like to join me in my endeavors without being a total fucking asshole to people, I would appreciate that. I just spilt my coffee. Just a minute. Hope you understand. I've told you that before. I go into deep, dark places where very few, um, what would the word be? Venture or dare to tread, or that type of thing. Yeah, most people are chicken shits when it comes to uh, dealing with other people and their issues and why they are in the mindsets that they're in. Yeah, because they've been betrayed and they don't know which way to turn. That's why. So they think, in a manner of speaking, in a lot of ways, they're right. If you listen to and without joining their cult, I don't believe in any cults, especially a death cult. Is Christianity a death cult or is it a life cult? These people are dying to mortality. In a sense, it's got the same essence, unless, like I say, you're into the dark arts of sacrificial things and rituals that would include casting spells and that type of thing. Then you will make an enemy out of me or out of yourself towards me. Other than that, I can work with people. Doesn't matter if you're atheist or Satanist, Muslim, Jew, Judaism and Satanism and Christianity all stem from Marxism. Well, not Marxism. Yeah, well, it is, but Marxism would be one way to put it. That would be the first um, European Christianity cult that stems off of Judaism, that stems off of Satanism, and that's exactly what it is. I'm telling you the truth. So, there's still the Trinity. There's also um, the dark part of the Trinity that Satanists um, praise for congregation on the earth, that somebody that calls themselves a Christian or whatever may not have that congregation to fall back on. Or if you have absolutely no church but faith in God and Christ in your heart, um, you might be absolutely all alone in what you believe personally, you know, or what you know to be true from your own life. I don't have to base my life on somebody else's life because I know mine, you know, and I also know if mine is being mimicked or stolen. There's people that are out to prove the truth, and I found one um, another another truther within the satanic congregation, a doctor of philosophy, so, and a scholar, a teacher, so, and a father. Happy Father's Day, Dr. Yeoman, and everybody else. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Not to be rude. So, yeah, I was thinking of my friends, and they have, every time a Father's Day comes around or their granddaughter's wedding, it's associated with their dad's death. And my father-in-law died on Doug's daughter's birthday, his own granddaughter's birthday. I was listening to somebody had said the birth of their child was the same day their father died. Whoa, that's bad. Kind of like having a death in the family on Christmas or that type of thing. It's like, then every time I mean, it's not like you don't um, recognize it any other time of the year. It just makes it a little worse, especially if people are celebrating and you're a little sad, you know. And I am a little sad. Like I say, I'm mostly sad for his wife. She's got good children. She's got a son and a daughter that are there with her now. But like I say, she's lost in the ozones. She's just like gone, dementia, you know, and that I mean, she's not scared, but I'm sure her children aren't too comfortable. They probably felt a lot better when their dad was there with her, you know. But she does have them good kids, so that's good. Now, me, they're going to just throw me to the wolves, and when I die, I just want to be put in a hefty cinch sack and kicked in the hole. That's how I want to go. I'm going to put Doug in his hot rod and push him down the hill and get a bulldozer and doze over him. Probably. Maybe. Depends on who goes first. Who came first, the chicken or the egg? Neither. It was a double yoker. But one of each in there, and they were not connected. Actually, it was a triple yoker, and one of the yolks had a dual personality, but it had nothing to do with gender. That's the confusion on this planet right now, big time. People thinking they're both genders just because science told you that. That's just a brilliant way to go about things. Just do what everybody tells you to do, and you'll never see another outlook or think of one on your own. Whoa, imagine that. Could you imagine actually thinking a thought that was brilliant beyond what they said was science? If you have one of them, make it known. The rest of us are interested, you know? I've been listening to a few things about with David Icke recently. There are still things that don't sit right with me. Um, he's got, he's, oh, how do I want to say that? He's got some information that's really great. Um, there's some things he says that totally rubs me the wrong way. Um, I do not agree with we're all connected and we're all one having an experience um, of that one individually. That's not true. We're individual souls. We're having our individual experiences. And when people die, you will find that out. You are not somebody else's soul. You are not connected to somebody else's soul no more than they are yours. They are connected to our Father. We all are. But He made us in His image individually. We are not a connection of that. We're connected to Him, but we are not Him expressing ourselves in another area. My child is not me expressing myself. And there's other things that he says that I don't buy into, no matter how um, similar or dissimilar people are. Why is it so fantastic to think that every single, whether it's 7 or 8 billion people, each one of them is an individual experiencing their own life that God set in play for them. And that is not an extension of Him, that is His offspring, an individual soul. Is it so fantastic to believe that He could make one of you? One, not a connection of Himself experiencing it somewhere. That's a real grandiose thing. Oh, gee, I'm part of God and so are you. Yeah, of course we are, but not in the way that Ike's teaching it. You're more individual, which is far more special than being a conglomeration of everybody and everything. That's bullshit. And people are not an conglomeration of everything that the earth is. There's far more involved in that and far less biologically. So, no. Anyway, I guess we can't all know everything, but, you know. But that, yeah, that kind of irks me. It irritates me because that is Dark Kabbalion, one love, um, teaching tolerance, and that's something within the Satanic Church too. That's also in Christianity. Um, it's not all tolerated, not in my mind. That's why I'm totally alone. If I'm not in a forgiving mood, which I usually am, but if I'm not, not gonna sit there and damn myself and fret over the situation that, oh, I'm such a bad person because I don't forgive you for punching my kid in the head, and I never fucking will get that straight. If God wants to forgive you, that's fine. And if you want to look down on me for, or when my child was raped, no, I don't have sympathy for these monsters. Go yourself. Now, on a one-on-one, have I prayed for these people? Yeah, I have. Do I forgive them? Not entirely. Somewhat enough to pray for them. And that's all they're getting today. Anyway, could be the mood I'm in. I'm not sure. But no, I don't always. I'm not always in a forgiving mood, and it's not always appropriate. There's scriptures that say just the contrary and tell you when to judge, and you're going to be judged on the same measure you judge. Do you have a problem with that? I surely don't. So judge away. Who cares? Right? God dang it. That's the dumbest shit right there. Oh, I'm a bad person because I speak my mind and I don't like approve of your lifestyle. So you don't approve of mine. Okay, there we go. We're at a standoff, a Mexican standoff. It's an impasse. You cannot go over that. Neither can I. That's fine. We're cool on our sides of the mountain, right? You just stay there. I'm going to stay here so we don't have a problem. Thing is, they've come over into my camp and I'm going to fight because you're on my land. Get it? That type of thing. When you tread where you shouldn't tread, I'm talking specifically about the liars that have twisted all this, and it's in every aspect of human religion. Every single one of them have been twisted, satanically twisted. Even the names. I'm not going to hail Satan, don't get me wrong, you know, ever. But that's not going to stop me from talking to people in this world and giving them my viewpoint and why I would feel like that, you know. It's the people that make a clown show out of every teaching, no matter what it is. And when I see the similarities in Judaism, Christianity, and Satanism, I'm going to make you aware of it. It's just that the Christians and the Jews won't admit it. Some of them do. I shared one on my Facebook today. In fact, I'll read it to you. Um, it's true what I tell you. It'll take a second to pull up here. Computer's been a little slow today. Probably a couple minutes here it might take. If I click it again, it might not work at all. Okay, come on. It was just about the Jews praising Lucifer. That's who they worship and serve. And so does like Lutheran, I was raised, or Catholic. If you knew these, oh, who did I hear lie last night? It was somebody that was trying to say the word brain, which is frame. They called it Fedosia or something, and said it was Greek for to think or to reason. No, the word is frame, your brain. But I can't remember who it was that was lying. I caught him last night. Language is a good thing if you understand some of it, you know. Then you can hear them lying. When they lie, you just know it. And if I don't know it, the Christ Spirit within me shows me it, and I'm able to comment on it, and it's always the right comment. But nobody that I know in the Christian church is going to say, wow, these rituals we do, it's identical to old Satanism, ancient Satanism. Identical. The rituals, the spells, the hymns and prayers, and it's all identical. Most Jews do not like to admit it, but our God is Lucifer, and we are his chosen people. Harold Wallace Rosenthal. Well, there's a Jewish name for you. I've told you before, it's our duty to help raise the Christ spirit. Um, there's information that you'll get in other places that you will not find in the cover up. You're only going to find it out of people that are telling the absolute truth and don't want any payment for that. Then you would have to ask, do these people believe they have an eternal soul? I don't think all of them believe that. I think there's a lot of atheists that pretend at any religion just to have what a group that they can identify with, and accepting and loving God and all forgiving. If you think that's Satan or God, you're deluded on both accounts. And if you think, well, I was going to say, if you think Satan's a male, you're half deluded. You don't see the other aspect of the workings in the whole thing um, that were put into play before humans were even made. So it's been going on for 10,000 years, uh, eons, ions. Oh, I just clicked onto my other Facebook page and it still isn't pulling up. After I read that to you, I clicked and it's just sitting there. Oh well. So that's that. Crazy. Anyway. Yeah, it rained last night again and then we have more rain coming. But like I told people, this is El Nino year. And we'll be going into La Nino, which will be um uh well, the weather will change again. I think that we'll have probably a far colder winter with a lot of precipitation going into a more, um, well, I think it's going to be a cold summer next summer too. And they can spew global warming all they want, but it just has to do with the ocean currents and the jet waves, and it's perpetual, ongoing thing. They can say, well, they've shifted or switched. It's total bullshit. Total bullshit. They switch on their own naturally. I've got a few different videos talking about El Nino and La Ninos, and I've been watching the temperatures and the jet streams from different areas around the United States, far west, far northeast, and south, and midwest, and southwest, and watching the jet streams and how they react and bring the temperatures and the seasons and the different things. I've been watching this all my life, and they keep lying to people, and if you're young enough you're going to believe them because they say they have scientists, but the thing is their scientists are lying to everybody, just like the religious leaders. These fuckers who take your money know full well what they're doing. Oh yeah, they do. They've dug into their scriptures deep. If they're ordained, they know what those words are. They know it. They know full well that they're not serving um, who most people would refer to as the Almighty or the one true God. And once again, Jesus is not in that vocabulary. So, to me, maybe to some people it is, but not to me. So, if you want to say Christ, I'm right there with you. But there are two separate situations, um, two outlooks, two ways of looking at things, and separate places in our afterlife for people, depending on your level and who you are and who you serve from your heart, no matter what that is, or your lack of heart, which is acceptable in some. Yeah, the coldest people I've ever met call themselves Christians. They sure do. or I get a kick out of these ones. You're going to hell. If you have premarital sex, you're going to burn in hell. If you, or you get my point, you know. Still not a good idea, you know. Without commitment, it's bad for your spirit. Really is. Well, I'm going to get this uploaded. It's crazy. This, when I flipped on that page, still hasn't made it over there. It's still loading. That's terrible. But anyway, I just thought I'd say hello today. I am in kind of a weird mood, not still feeling the best. I just did really get overheated. It was horrible. But, so then I asked Doug, I said, let me know how those cranberries turned out. So he's making himself a plate of food last night and tried them. And he's like, do you want me to save you some? There's a great big pan of them, you know, saucepan. I said, yeah, please, please do. You know, he's just being Doug. So anyway. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at. Peace and love. And once again, happy Father's Day from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.